Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Conan Exiles update video. In fact, we should probably label this the Funcom update video. I'm going to be talking about the future of Funcom, what they've got planned for the rest of the year, what type of Conan Exiles content we're going to get, what type of Conan content we're going to get, and maybe a little glimpse about the future of their other big franchise that's coming, Dune. Funcom have invested lots of money from what they've made from Conan Exiles, which practically saved their company into lots of different types of games. They're going to be bringing out a single player Conan game very soon. Well, I say soon, but at least revealing it for sure. And of course they've got Conan Unconquered, the RTS game. That is coming out very soon. But I do want to discuss and talk about everything that's going on with the DLC, when we can expect to see the next batches drop, and in terms of what content and updates we can expect to see too. And of course E3 is fast approaching and Funcom are going to be there in a big way. I think this is the first time they're going to be there in a large way, showing off lots of games. They've got a segment on the PC Gamer Show, and I do believe they're going to be appearing on other big branded shows, maybe like Xbox and the PlayStation 2. So it's a big 3 or 4 weeks for Funcom. Lots of stuff going on. But before we get into that, I have some sad news. Can we all take a moment and have a moment's silence, please, for the XP cheese glitch? I say it's a glitch, it's not, it's just a cheese. But unfortunately, the XP bug, glitch, cheese, whatever you want to call it, where you could get lots of XP by dismantling traps, has now been nerfed. I am sorry if I am the first person to tell you this. I'm not sure if it happened since the big underwater update or since the hotfix yesterday, but if you are someone that has taken advantage of this, you are going to be really disappointed like me. I jumped on my server today, I was only level 30, and I thought, you know what, I want to get to level 60. I'm playing on my PvP server. If you want to come and join Discord. Ask to join the server. We'll give you a special rank and you'll be able to see the server password and the chats. It is only for PlayStation 4. But anyway, I jumped on. I wanted to see what was going on, try and get myself leveled up so I could do some raiding tonight. And my crew, my clan said, you know what? You should do the cheese. The cheese consists of getting to level 34, level 35, and being able to basically make and dismantle traps. Place a vapor trap like you can see right here and then dismantle it. You used to get an explosive back, and then you could just keep making the same traps over and over again for quite a small expense. It used to give you absolute tons of XP, and this is how lots of people have managed to get to level 60 in a quick space of time. It's been alive for weeks and weeks and weeks, maybe even longer than that. So obviously the Conan Exile devs have realised this, and so now when you dismantle one of these traps you only get the 7 iron. You won't get any explosives backs or any jars. I would like to say I feel sad about it, but I don't actually. I do like the fact that they've gotten on top of it. Maybe they should have got on top of it a little bit quicker. It doesn't seem right that the only best, quickest way to level up is by doing a cheese like this. I much prefer when the game mechanics are there, like killing lots of creatures or crafting and doing lots of things. But that definitely was pretty much the number one method that lots of people were doing. So if you never did that, well, don't worry, you're not missing out. It did get me thinking though, how else can you level up? What is still the best way? And it still does look like tier 3 materials are the best way to level up. Foundation pieces particularly, you can see here I'm doing it with the Khitan stuff. So if you are struggling to level up, maybe you're playing on official servers and you really want to get higher level, keep trying to make level tier 3 stuff. It will get you up super quick. But I am going to take a deeper dive and see if I can come up with a proper full-on second part to my first guide. I've shown you guys how to level up basically for the first early stages of Conan Exiles up to like level 30. And I do want to show you now how to level up 30 to maybe level 60. So if you've got any ideas, tips, put them in the comment section down below. What is your best method for leveling up? So Funcom's next big game of course is Conan Unconquered. This is an RTS game, and it's utilising Conan Exiles artwork and pretty much all the same sort of systems, avatars, everything that you kind of got used to playing Conan Exiles. So it is an RTS game and it's coming out on the 30th of May. I've already done one video talking and explaining exactly what it's going to be, and you guys did seem to be a bit interested in it, so I said to you I will give a more in-depth look. The developers did do a live stream yesterday. I do believe it was a co-op, but for some reason it's not available on their YouTube channel. But nevertheless, if you like RTSs, then this could be something pretty decent, and maybe if you've never played them but you really love Conan Exiles, it could be a good way to get into them. It's only going to be available for PC, No plans to bring it to Xbox or the PS4 as yet. It is made by the same people that made the Command and Conquer series. So that's the first big project they've got coming on the 30th of May. They'll be properly showing lots of this, I bet, over E3. Now after that, they're working obviously on the single player Conan Exiles game. This kind of got announced in November and they had a little bit more information in December. It was announced as part of their third quarter for 2018. There's no release date yet and it was in pre-production. It has to be said the last Conan single player game that came out was pretty jank. I've covered this in my History of Conan series, so go and check that video out. Is it time for a good Conan single player game? I don't know who's working on it. We don't know if it's going to be the same core development team. Joel Bylas has kind of stepped away from Conan Exiles and it does seem to have much more of a lead developer, new guy on it. He's the guy that really brought everything alive and created the Conan Exiles that we know. Is he working on a single player game or is he working on the next big thing? Not gonna lie, God of War's kind of set the bar very high. Anyone looking to make a sword and sorcery or some sort of hack and slash single player game really should be aiming to have something along them lines. If not, if it's just a very generic brawler style game, I don't think it's going to do that well. But you never know. I've not seen it. I haven't got a clue how it's progressing or what shape it's going to take. It may be absolutely amazing. I will let you guys know as soon as I get any more information about it. We're probably going to get even more news in the next couple of days. They've just had a massive shareholders meeting where lots of the people that have invested in Funcom have basically decided on how the business goes forward. Now before you start nodding off falling asleep, it does reveal some information. Here you can see their plans. Conan single player is being worked on internally at the moment. They've already announced the 2 release dates for Conan Unconquered and the Moons of Madness, which is a very much smaller single player experience made by a separate smaller development team. Both these games in fact have separate development teams. They're kind of working in partnership and mostly just being published by Funcom. But these are the ones that I'm really interested in. It says here for the single player release 2020, so it's not that unimaginable we'll see some sort of teaser trailer for this game at E3. It does say in pre-production, so obviously they might not have much going on, but I could definitely see some tiny little end slate or just even a tiny little visual sort of cinematic. Maybe being worked on more actively is this Heroic Signatures multiplayer co-op shooter. After delving into it a little bit, Heroic Signatures is a brand new company basically in partnership with Funcom. They invested 50% into this company and it's now their new joint venture where they own all the IP so they can control what gets made in terms of games using the Conan name. So it doesn't have to be a Conan Exiles game, it doesn't have to be a direct sequel to whatever they've done, it can be any other sort of Conan game, but they'll own the rights to it alongside the rest of this company, so they'll benefit from it. So they'll be publishing all Conan games from now on. It isn't just Conan games though. Obviously, since it's a shooter, it's going to be something very different. They've got 29 other properties. There's all sorts of things like IP for RPG games, pen and paper games, and as you can see, there's lots of things that it could possibly be. I reckon it might be along the lines of some sort of mutant shooter game. That's the only one that really stood out for me when I looked at the list of titles that they own. Obviously not a Conan Exiles game, unless he suddenly finds himself teleported into another universe and thousands of years in the future. But that is also in production, and again I'm likely to have seen that at E3. One we won't be seeing for a while, but this probably has the most real closeness to Conan Exiles, is the Dune game. You can see it's Dune IP open world multiplayer. Now if you've never heard of Dune, it's a famous book set on a huge sandy planet. I mean, it may have more than sand on it, but that's the image or memory I have of the ancient film from the 70s. Funcom basically bought the rights to work on the Dune franchise. They're going to be making 3 games supposedly. That's in the next 6 years, so of course that could change depending on how well the first one does. There is going to be a new Dune movie coming out in 2020, directed by Blade Runner's Denis Villeneuve. Funcom haven't revealed whether or not the new games will tie into the movie or not. You can see here though, the first of these 3 games will be an open world multiplayer genre. A fancy way of saying MMO. It will begin pre-production at Funcom's internal development studio at Oslo later this year, so we probably won't be seeing it for several years. That's the game that I think Joel Bylas is going to be working on. So we're not going to see any sort of reveal for that this E3, I'm pretty sure. The news from PC Games here says that also the other 2 games they're going to be working on are likely to be smaller things, maybe like a mobile game. But again, no real information, no screenshots of it. What I do expect from that is to be a bit more classical MMO. The previous Conan games they've made have all been online MMOs. And while they really didn't maybe have the success and they really didn't progress the company forward, it is something the development team or some parts of the development team seem more comfortable working on. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe this is the new way of doing it and they're looking to open up another survival style game. You can see it's listed as PC, Xbox One and the PS4, just like their Heroic Signatures co-op shooter. It's also worth pointing out that they've invested a lot of money in cross-platform play. Now, not between Xbox and PS4, but a company that specialises in basically creating its own storefront or launcher. I'm not saying that Funcom are going to have their own one like the Epic Games Store or like Humble Bundle, but they could be looking at ways to be able to update their games all in one go and also have a place where you can buy all Funcom games in one single space. It does seem to be the future of a lot of games developers. Really don't want to get caught up in Steam's greedy ways or be part of the backlash against Epic Games. This is really circumstantial stuff, but they have invested money in a company that specialises in that. Now, some of this is going to be subject to change. Some of it might go forward, some of it might not, it might be cancelled. But definitely in the next 6 months, we're going to see Conan Unconquered, Moons of Madness. And if this supposedly is coming out as a single player game next year, I imagine we're going to see some sort of news or info start to come out about this one. And we should hopefully start seeing some information about exactly what type of co-op shooter they're working on. Now, it does have to be said though that the co-op shooter is still being worked on by a different arm of the studio. It's not the Norway studio, it's their North Carolina studio. The single player one is being made by the same, I do believe, team, or at least based at the same place as Conan Exiles. Likewise, Dune's game is also going to be based there. So if you're a Conan Exiles fan and you've already fallen asleep, what do you expect to see in the next few months? Well, we do know they're going to be launching obviously the rest of the DLC. The Terranian pack was the first of 4. We're going to get another 3 packs coming. We've still got the Riders of Iboria pack, the Blood and Sand pack and the Mysteries of Acheron pack. And these are all going to come in 2019. So based on that timeline, we can expect to see a DLC release every sort of 2 to 3 months. It wouldn't surprise me if we get the Hyboria pack some point in July, Blood and Sand pack sometime in August, September, and then maybe the Mysteries of Acheron pack at some point in December. Now that's just what I'm proposing based on the previous history of how long they've released the DLCs. Now alongside each one of these DLCs you can expect to see updates. Pouring through their financials, it seems like their DLC really has made them a lot of money in 2018. They're completely debt free now as a company and they seem to be rolling around in surplus cash. Hence why they've gone and bought all the rights to Conan Exiles more or less, and why they're going ahead and making so many different types of games. Mutant Road Zero is just about to come out on Nintendo Switch. That also has DLC coming too. That's another RTS style game, a little bit like XCOM. From their YouTube streams we know they've spoken about other dungeons that are coming too, with their new sort of key creator or key engineer or designer mentioning that it's going to be a climbing dungeon that will pop up next. And as stated, I do believe if I've got this wrong, they've got another 3 dungeons to come, and that kind of falls in line with all the DLC. So if you've enjoyed Conan Exiles, particularly the PS4 players that have tuned in recently, there is lots of content to come. I'm not a huge fan of DLC, and I've already had a big moan and whinge about the Riddle of Steel DLC that they announced, which was an extra piece of DLC on top of the Year 2 Season Pass. But nevertheless, if you like it, it does add more content to the game and it is reasonably charged. As long as they keep bringing updates like the Sunken City, I think it's more or less just about fair. What I still definitely do want them though is to focus on making sure the game is running well. We've had 260 comments on my update video from yesterday, with lots of you complaining and saying there's lots more bugs and problems since the hotfix. It does seem like they really rushed this out and didn't really think about it enough. But I don't want to keep whinging, that's the way things are. They're a company, they're going to want to make lots of money. Let's just hope there is no real big crimes being taken place with the developers behind the scenes. So there we go, I just thought it was interesting to show you what the future of the development team is, how the actual company is pressing ahead with all sorts of different types of games, and what you can expect from Conan Exiles in the rest of the year. 3 more DLCs, 3 huge big updates, or at least containing 3 dungeons, and hopefully we'll start seeing stuff like mounts being added to the game and possibly any other extensions to the map, although they have categorically said that won't be happening. Let me know how you're getting on with Conan Exiles, and also has it opened your eyes to other Conan related stuff? Are you more interested in the movies or the comics or even the books? Or does this stuff really not get you that interested? You just really want to play Conan Exiles only because you're a big survival fan? Pop the comments in the description box down below. I'm going to keep you up to date as ever with any big changes like the nerf to the XP cheese and the future of all of these games, because I'm quite interested in some of them. Until next time, rat bags, laters.